This week we're going to talk about the gift and the importance of Star Wars. Yep. I am so excited that so many people are watching this movie. Now, I remember seeing the first movie when I don't even know how old I was, but I remember it was a big deal. We went over to my neighbor's house and they had a VCR player and they had that magical VCR. The video, and we popped it in and we watched Star Wars. And that's, I think, the last time I've seen Star Wars. And then this Christmas, I saw it again, and I am so delighted that our attention and our focus of so many people are on these subjects. And I say this to people, and they're like, but it's kind of weird you're saying that, Josephine, because of the level of violence and the fact that it had to come, in that way that Star Wars comes, right? Including, a lot of the stuff that we're moving out of, right? But the gift and the blessing of Star Wars, there's so many, but it had to come in that guise. It had to come in the guise that it did, in the way that it did, so that it would reach the masses. Yet, the core gems and themes of this movie are so deeply powerful and magnificently spiritual that I am so excited that it came in this form, because it is permeating people's awareness. It just is. Because you're in such an awesome womb of the movie experience where you are so ripe in the alpha frequency, which is a brain wave, which is the same frequency as when we meditate, where you are so available to receive information. Why is this movie so powerful? So many reasons. To begin, the discussion of light and dark. So in all of us, we have the capability to radiate and emit different frequencies. The higher we go, the more loving, the more compassionate, the more accepting we are, the more light-filled we are in our being. There are individuals right now that I call light beings, and their entire purpose is to shed and radiate light, love, peace on this planet. All of us have that capability. Some of us are just, that is our destiny, and that's where we're going. When I first started doing this work, the percentage of people that were actualized into this role of light being were much smaller. Now, it is beginning to multiply for cities like Los Angeles, where I was for a very long time. When I first began there were a small number of light beings, and then more and more and more people became moving towards the light, getting very excited by this path, and getting really, really turned on by this notion of giving and radiating good, kind, loving energy. Now, when I say light beings, I'll give an example. Like 2 weeks ago, I talked to a nurse and a mechanic, okay? Both of them. Oh, I just thought of another one too, an ambulance worker. All 3 of them, light beings, right? So they're coming in the guise of something that you probably deal with all the time, something like going to get your pulse checked, or if you have to go to an ambulance, right? These are professions that we're very familiar with. It's not like people go around being like, I am light worker. But the way you recognize these people is that when you are with them, you feel wonderfully peaceful, wonderfully calm, and wonderfully grounded in the work that they're doing. And just by them doing their work, they are radiating and emitting huge, enormous amounts of love and light to the world. Now, what's so cool about Star Wars is the discussion of light and dark. And what I love about this discussion is that it doesn't put a negative connotation entirely on the dark. Yeah, there's a lot that we don't like about the dark. But what I love about one of the words that they use when they describe the dark is the description of power. So many of us, when we are looking at the darker part of ourselves, which is the darker part of the world, we can reject it, we can negate it, we can push against it, which only allows it to really increase in power and presence. When we understand that that darkness is power and it's fuel to bring us towards the light, it is incredibly beneficial for us. So in this beautiful tale of Star Wars, right, between the light and dark, the light wins out, which it is more and more and more and more on planet Earth, more and more and more, and it will more and more and more and more. That's our journey. That's why we showed up. That's part of our evolution, is to go on that journey. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't have waves where there's enormous amounts of dark energy coming in. Every time it is the cleansing out, it is the moving out of that vibration and that tonality. It is a good thing. What's so wonderful about Star Wars is the way, which is what's happening right now, is that light beings are stepping into this warrior-like mentality, right? So we're not so, most of us are not so intensely in warfare where we're out, as in Star Wars, shooting each other. But we are on the front lines. And I'm saying this to you to activate the light within you. Perhaps you identify yourself as a light being. Perhaps you would like to activate more of the energy that is light within you. The way that you do that right now sometimes involves a bit of a fight. In the past, light beings, as I've witnessed, have been very kind, very gentle, and a bit passive. And what's happening right now is that there is a sense of entitlement which is coming forward, which is a good thing. Because there's been a lot of heart healing. We're moving out of a time where a lot of light beings are moving through a lot of heart healing. And so now there is this time where they're moving forward and saying enough is enough. We've had it with the dark, and we're ready for something new. And in that defiance is a wonderful victory that's occurring. So I'm speaking to the light within you. If you haven't seen this movie, it's so fantastic. It will just switch your light right on. Not even to mention the themes of feminism that are so strong, putting that beautiful woman at the center, looking both very much like a man and a woman. Yes, of course she's a woman. But that androgynous look is so powerful because it helps resonate to both men and women and what it is that she's doing. Yet at the core of who she is very deeply rooted in some awesome, really nice feminine themes, which is so cool. So that's a whole nother reason to see it. But a major reason to see it is to activate that light within you. I'm setting the intention that this video really electrifies and wakes you up from within. That there's a part of you that is yearning to understand how it is that we better utilize the dark. That when we see it as our power, as we see it as the gift and the blessing that gives us the impetus, the inspiration and the motivation to move towards the light, and every single decision and movement we make, that again and again we stay in alignment with integrity. And through that, we stay more and more in connection with the highest version of who we are. And that be a blessing not only for you, not only for me, but that it extend outward, helping, assisting, and uplifting so many others as well. Sending huge, lots of light-filled good energy your way. Bye-bye.